If I was an Egyptian fan, I'd be fuming. That game as a neutral, outstanding. But for someone rooting for Egypt or an Egyptian, I'd scream corruption of the highest levels because what I saw from that ref was insane. No discredit to Argentina, like they played amazing to be able to come back 2-0 down and win 3-2 with the death pretty much. But you cannot discredit that ref was calling more for Egypt than they were for Australia. To start out, that goal that was disallowed for Egypt should have never, in any shape or form, been disallowed. That foul comes from the opposite corner of the field. A player gets stepped on slightly on his toes. He falls over. Sure, you can call that a foul then, but the ref never called that a foul. And if he's not calling that a foul in that corner of the field, then he can't rule out the goal. Because what's the point of a ref if VAR is just going to come in and just call everything itself? It's almost like the ref got the boss call and was like, "Hey, we can't have it. We can't have this." It's unfathomable. Like what's the point of a referee at this point in the game? Because the foul happens and then there's like 15 other moves. The player has to pass it a couple passes it code to a couple players. They run down the entire field. There's like other Argentina defenders there as well. So it's not a direct cause of the that leading to the goal. It just starts the move. So how is that you can't call something that starts it but doesn't directly lead to the goal? Because say he fouls it but then the pass goes offward, then nothing happens. Sure, a goal might come, but that was like 30, 45 seconds later. It's just, I don't think I've ever seen a foul like that in my life be given retroactively to a goal. They're fishing, in my opinion, for that. Luckily, they got the ball didn't lie and Egypt scored a second one, but realistically, it could have been 3-0 up at that point. The game's completely different than what we have. But there was also that foul that the ref missed where the Egyptian player was just basically punched in the neck. So it's like this area by one of the Argentinian players. The ref just didn't call. There was that foul at the end before the third goal where the I think it was Arturo Martinez and one of the Egyptian defenders were running shoulder to shoulder, and Martinez just basically is tripping over himself, and they give that a foul to Argentina, which it's outrageous. But what can you do, man? What can you do? It was a great game to watch as a neutral. But I think uh, deservedly, if you were a stat nerd, you'd say Argentina deserved to win it. They had more possession. They had more shots. They had that penalty that Messi missed in the first half right after the first Egyptian goal. Basically triple the touches in the opposition box. 3 times the big chances. A lot more corners, like 8 shots on target. Like they had more shots on target Argentina than Egypt had in total. So like obviously you're looking at the stats. Argentina should have won, like obviously. But I think the way that Argentina was playing, they got lucky. I think if it wasn't for the fact that Lionel Messi is just him, basically scoring an outrageous goal, huge assist, and Romero and Fernandez having insane heading ability, I think they would be going home. I think Egypt will be looking at themselves thinking that they let themselves down defensively. I think when they had to have some players come off for injury, I think that's when the game shifted. Also, when the game shifted is the fucking water break. That fucking water break, man. Egypt scores. Immediately goes to water break. The fucking momentum shifts. They're inside a fucking domed stadium. I don't know why they have a water break. It's obviously you can't just like cut it out because like all the other teams have had water breaks, but they're in an air conditioned stadium. Why are we having a water break? Sure, it might be like 100 outside with the humidity, but like you're inside an AC stadium. As soon as like it was all Egypt on that ball, like from that goal and even after. And then they called the water break all Argentina. Nothing happened after that. And so obviously, as someone who was at that moment rooting for Egypt, because I always liked rooting for the underdogs, it it feels hard done by because like you can see it all these matches that when the water break happens, the momentum shifts, the game pretty much just like grinds to a halt or whatnot, like one of those things. And football isn't a momentum sport. Like if one team is on the ball a bunch of the time, they're eventually going to get chances and chances and maybe a goal, maybe another goal, but it can flip really quickly. And but what the water break does is that it just exacerbates that to the like upteenth time because the water break just halts the play. Immediately, both teams get a break. They reset. They go at it again. And for Egypt, who was on the back foot um, for most of that game, and then got that second goal on the run of play, they were. I think the nerves were starting to creep in, especially when the Romero goal went, and that was a great header by him. To not to discredit him, I think it was unlucky that, or I think it was lucky that he was just barely onside for the Egyptian. They kept trying to play this offside trap a bunch. I saw where they would let the player go and then they kind of jump back a little bit and then run back. I think they should have stopped that immediately. That's what kind of let them down is them trying to play that offside trap with like such a low line. If they're gonna play an offside trap, you have to have a higher line. In my opinion, you can't be doing it like right outside your box. The Messi goal, just outrageous, outrageous finish by him. I just off the bar and in. That's insane. And the Fernandez goal right at the death, pretty much in the added time. Huge finish by him. The goalkeeper just rooted in place. Didn't even attempt to go for it. For both Egypt goals, really good goals on the run of play. I think there was a couple times when Salah could have released the ball earlier, especially the one at the end where he tripped in the box. He should have released it, either passed it to the guy behind him or maybe made a cross. There was another one, I can't remember if it was Salah or if it was one of the other players on the attack, who there was a perfect ball they could have pinged diagonally to the other side of the 18-yard box, but they didn't make the pass. They lost the ball, and I think it went on a little bit later to the Messi goal, I think, if I remember correctly. Um, but just just a weird momentum swing in that game. I thought Lautaro Martinez when he came on was pretty decent. Montiel coming on for Talafigo, who I think was getting run rampant by that by Hassan. I think this guy Hasim Hassan was outstanding for Egypt. Him and Zico I think ran the show for the most part. Trezeguet when he came on was pretty decent. Made a few good defensive contributions on the wing, but I think he and many of the subs for Egypt did not get up to speed quick enough. That game was end to end the entire time, and it it just they just weren't ready for it. They just weren't ready for it, and it kind of cost Egypt a little bit because Mexico, not Mexico. Why did I say Mexico? Argentina's subs they came on and immediately got running and kept moving the ball quickly. So that's pretty much the analysis I have for that. Argentina, after scraping through Cape Verde and Egypt, they go on to play the winner of the Switzerland and Colombia game, which I think I had Colombia winning that game today. And then in that, I think they had actually had this exact matchup, which was Argentina Colombia, and then Colombia winning. I think this will be a big test for Argentina based off of those two teams, whoever wins, because uh, Argentina have kind of been scraping by almost to get to these stages. Their group stage, they obviously had a pretty easy group for the most part. Yeah, they had Austria, Algeria, Jordan, pretty easy teams for the most part, and they won them all pretty comfortably. Like 3-1 Jordan, 2-0 Austria, 3-0 Algeria. So like they played some pretty easy-ish teams, but I think now is when we need to see the best of Argentina that won the World Cup, and I think we're starting to see that. We saw it definitely in the second half of this game where they came back and won. But I think the real test will be on the 11th when they play the winner of Colombia's Switzerland. Amazing game. Heartbreak for the Egyptian fans who thought they're on to something historic. I will say, winning only one game, or getting your first win in a World Cup and then making it to a round of 16 should not disqualify what you've done. I think it's amazing what the Egyptians have done. I think they can build on that for future. A lot of young players will now be looking up to the stars like Mo Salah and wanting to play for the national team, which I think will be great for development for them. Argentina go trudging on, grinding out wins somehow, like what champions do, and this round of 16 is cooking up something. I don't know what they've done, but we ain't ready for the quarters.